You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
A 2-0 week for the Tigers as Memphis beats Charlotte and gets revenge against FAU. We'll recap those games, sit down with Naquan Tomlin, a look ahead to East Carolina and UAB. It's The Penny Hardaway Show. Let's go.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers.
Tigers right their ship in a big way. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Woloshin.
And I'm Matt Infield. The Tigers find gold against the 49ers. They get revenge against FAU. Let's check out the highlights.
First matchup of the week for the Tigers, taking on a Charlotte team coming in second in the AAC. Memphis up 5 at halftime. Second half was all home team. The hometown kid getting his moment to shine. Walk-on Joe Cooper nails a three for his first points at FedEx Forum as a Tiger. Memphis pulling away. Nicholas Jourdain is our defensive player of the week. Comes up with this loose ball, and he's doing it all himself, going the other way. Count it and one. Tigers outscore Charlotte 36-17 in the second, on their way to a dominant 76-52 victory. Now the one we've been waiting for since last March, the rematch against Florida Atlantic. Naquan Tomlin is our outstanding performer of the week. Early second half, ferocious one-handed slam. That's worth a flex afterwards. A few minutes later, Tomlin straightaway three, book it. Best game for him in a Tiger uniform with 21 points and 8 boards. David Jones came alive in the second half too. Euro step, hoop plus the harm. 58-52 Memphis after the N1. Tigers trying to pull away. On the break, Devon Quitterly with the lob. Jones the finish. 6-point Memphis lead with about 5 to play. And Jones is a tough shot maker. Defender all over him. Doesn't matter. Knocks down the contested jumper to make it a 10-point Tiger lead. Memphis finally gets their revenge nearly a year in the making. They knock off FAU 78-74.
Coach, this happened a while ago, but we haven't talked about it. You are a finalist for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, about as good an honor as you could possibly get. Share your feelings first when you heard it and what it really means to you.
When I first heard it, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, because everyone that plays sports wants to go into a Hall of Fame. That's your childhood dream, you know, get championships, go into the Hall of Fame. And when my name got announced to, you know, even be on the ballot or whatever, I was definitely excited about it.
I'm just going to say it. I know you're a humble guy, but between your college career, your peak in the NBA, the influence you had on the game, and now your coaching career, I'm shocked you haven't been in already. Are you surprised that you haven't gotten further along in the process?
No, I definitely appreciate you saying that, because I feel the same, but there's so many judgmental people out there about my injuries and when my injuries happen. But if you look at the history of the Hall of Fame, there's been guys that have played 8 years that are in there. And I know my first 8 years were great.
When you first heard the news, who are the people that reached out to you? Like Shaq, who's, you know, you just went for his raising of his jersey in Orlando. But who else? Who reached out to you and said, Penny, finally, you get it?
No, it was more, you know, friends, local friends. It wasn't really a lot of, you know, NBA guys. They're waiting on it to be announced to be going in. And then I'm sure everybody's going to be, you know, going to text me and call me and give me the congratulations. I'm just speaking it into existence. But no NBA guys really called, because it was just going on the ballot. It wasn't actually going in. So still, I'm honored.
Well, he just hit on it. Obviously, recently you go to Orlando, Shaq's jersey retired by the Magic, first player in franchise history. You guys are obviously intertwined there. Just how cool of an experience was that?
No, it was pretty sweet. Saw some guys that I hadn't seen in over 30 years, former teammates, fans that were still there. The organization still ran by the DeVos family. It was an overall great experience. And then obviously the big fella and I are definitely intertwined and connected for life.
They introduced a lot of legends before the game, and Nick Anderson, D3, those guys obviously got great ovations, but I gotta say, yours was the loudest. What was that reception like for you?
It meant a lot because, you know, when I recognized my career, it's Orlando. Even though I played in Phoenix and New York, in a small stint in Miami, it's all about Orlando. So to go back home to Orlando was pretty cool, and to get that ovation.
Let's go back to you first meet Shaq, because that story is a great story. Was it on the set, the movie set of Blue Chips, that you guys first came together, or did you know each other before that?
I played with him. They used to have these games in Minnesota, like this Olympic festival type games where they put North, South, East, West teams together. And Shaq and I both played on the same team in that festival, but we really still didn't know one another. Got to know one another better when we were doing the movie Blue Chips.
Again, humbly, when we think about Shaq and Kobe, if you stay healthy, if he doesn't leave Orlando, do you think that Shaq and Penny is in place of that?
Absolutely. I think that with him growing and me growing as a player and me staying healthy and us going out and getting other free agents to go along with us, yeah, we definitely would have had one at least.
Well, he's also the guy, I believe, just said that. He was making sure that Orlando ended up making the deal to get you. Did you know that was going to happen?
I did not know that was going to happen, but I felt like I did a great job in the movie from being around him a lot. When we had the basketball scenes, making sure I gave him the balls all the time and made him happy.
He liked that.
And I felt like I did a good job to, at least enough for him to say something.
Let's shift to, obviously, your relationship with Nike. One of the most recognizable ones in the history of the company, and that's saying something. How has that developed over time, and what does it say that it's still going after all this time?
Yeah, you know, my rookie year in the NBA, I always wanted to be with Nike, and I got the opportunity to sign a rookie deal. And in my second year, got my own signature sneaker. And, you know, after my second year, so for me, that relationship means the world to me because it's pretty much a lifetime relationship. You know, my whole entire career off the court is Nike. On the court, it was Orlando. Off the court, it was Nike, and they've done a great job supporting me and making sure I look good at all times.
Well, part of that Nike deal was Little Penny and Chris Rock. Talk about that concept, how it was first presented to you, and your relationship with Chris Rock.
Yeah, the concept of Little Penny was really hilarious. We were in a board meeting with an advertising agency called Whiten and Kennedy, and they asked me about an alter ego. And instantly, I knew it would be funny because it was going to be, you know, comedy. And man, it went bigger than what I could have ever imagined with Chris Rock. They interviewed, I think, Damon Wayans, Martin Lawrence, and all these other actors and entertainers. And Chris Rock was the perfect guy with the perfect voice.
When you look back on it now, you had a pretty sudden rise to fame. Obviously, you made your mark here in college, but then go to the NBA and you're a star basically right away. What was it like for you to be thrust into the spotlight like that immediately?
It was just God. You know, because I had dreamt that when I was like 12 years old that I was going to be in the NBA and I was going to be a mega star. First you have to see it, then you can go and grab it. And I did. And when it happened, I was ready for the moment.
Are you bigger from the Nike stuff with Chris Rock or the video games that people play and use you?
I'm probably bigger from Nike because of the commercials. The commercials put me out there worldwide.
Last one, we talked about your influence and how there are all these bigger guards now, maybe not as athletic as you, but if you look at the modern NBA, who is the player that you think plays most like you today?
Without the funny shot, probably Tyrese Halliburton.
Interesting.
Long guard, slim, can really play.
Don't jump like you though.
No, he doesn't. Jason Tatum has some motions, even though he plays more of a triple threat game, but probably Halliburton.
There are a lot of unconventional paths to Memphis on this year's team, maybe none more so than Naquan Tomlin. We'll document that journey. Coming up next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Welcome back to The Penny Hardaway Show. Naquan Tomlin grew up in the Big Apple, a basketball city, and you'd think he's played the game his entire life. Not quite. And now, just years after picking it up seriously, he's become an impact player for the Tigers with his sights set on even bigger dreams.
Tomlin is a New York City product, Harlem to be exact. He's the oldest of three and was raised by a single mom.
How did that shape you?
It shaped me knowing how to appreciate things, you know. Like my mom, she went through a lot when she had, with me and my other siblings. She was going to school and she was working a job, so yeah, she did a lot for the family. Everything that I do it for her, you know, especially now I'm in a situation now where I can, you know, help provide for her and my family, you know, it's a great thing.
He's also a super big brother. His younger brother is 13 and his little sister is 8.
It's fun, you know, having 2 other people look up to you. You know, it's fun. I have to make sure I show the right examples.
Tomlin played pickup hoops in parks in the city throughout his childhood, but did not play a single minute of high school basketball or anything of the sort before that.
So I first played organized basketball after I graduated high school, and I went to a prep school in San Antonio, Texas called Strength and Motion International.
That's crazy. So you never played AAU, high school, any of that growing up?
No, sir.
Any reason in particular?
Not really. I mean, I always just wanted to play like with my friends, like my close friends. Like I always either went to the park with them or we played outside. So that was a factor. And then it was like when I was younger too, like probably like 6'4", I couldn't dunk. Yeah, I couldn't dunk. I was embarrassed about that too. I'm like, I don't know to try out for the team. I can't dunk yet. Yeah, but pretty much just always wanted to just play around with like my close friends.
How do you come to the decision to go to a prep school and do it seriously for the first time?
So I had help with my Uncle Steve. I call him my uncle. You know, my high school coach. He, you know, after I graduated, he wanted to know what were my next plans. And so he was just like, oh, what are you gonna do now? And I was like, I don't know. You know, I wanna play basketball because that's something I'm passionate about. And so he introduced me to this man named Steve Barnett, who I call my uncle now. You know, he just took a bunch of videos of me working out and, you know, sent it to different coaches, and that's how I got intertwined with Strength and Motion International.
What's that experience like? First time playing organized ball, and I imagine it's more serious than anything you've been through before.
It was a lot. I mean, like, you know, I had to learn a bunch of plays, and that was something I wasn't familiar with, learning how to plays and learning from different positions and stuff like that. So it was a lot, you know. That's where I first started learning how to, you know, lift weights. And so it was just new. But it was a great experience for me, though.
After his year in San Antonio, Tomlin went back to New York for a year at Monroe Community College in Rochester, then transferred to another JUCO, Chipola College in rural North Florida, where he spent 2 very successful seasons, and contrary to what you might think, truly enjoyed it.
It was fun. That might have been like some of my best times in college. I mean, like playing with a group of guys that, like, you know, we was always together, you know, doing things together and, like, you know, just traveling. You know, in JUCO, we wasn't on like, I mean, we traveled on the buses sometime, but we were mostly in like vans and stuff like that. So we was always close, always bonding. Like, those were my guys.
After 3 years playing JUCO, it was time for Tomlin to make the jump to D1. The Big Apple native decided to play in the Little Apple from Manhattan, New York to Manhattan, Kansas, and the Kansas State Wildcats. A lot of Empire State flavor helped convince him. Just
it being a new program, basically, because of the new coaching staff, and then like it was 2 guys on the team that he kept from the previous team, Marquise Noel and Ishmael Massoud, who are both from Harlem. And so like once I went there on my visit, they were like my hosts, and so like I just gelled with those guys immediately, just because, you know, we talked the same, we, you know, walked the same. It was just like my guys, yeah.
It turned out to be a great decision because in the first season under new head coach Jerome Tang, the Wildcats made it all the way to the Elite 8.
It was fun. It was really fun. You know, that group of guys, we were so close. You know, we did everything together. So it was just like we knew what we were going to do, and, you know, and that's what we did. You know, unfortunately, we didn't go as far as we wanted to, but, you know, we did what we could.
But a second season in Kansas was not to be after Tomlin was dismissed from the team in December following an arrest earlier in the fall.
Most definitely. It was definitely a low in my life. Very depressing. You know, like not being able to do something that I love to do. It was like heartbreaking. Just very emotional during that time. You know, I was able to still, you know, talk to family and friends. And, you know, they just tried to always keep me, you know, uplifted and stuff like that.
One of the biggest things that kept Tomlin's spirits up during that time period, he got a dog, a pit bull mix named Mama.
One day I was just driving around. I was like, I'm gonna just go to the shelter, see what they have. Went there and just saw a couple of the dogs. And then when I saw her, and like, she was just so sweet, and like, she wasn't barking or anything. I've had her for about a couple months now, and I still haven't heard her bark. Like, she's just so cool and calm. All she wants to do is cuddle. But yeah, like, I just went around, got a dog, and then, you know, she just, all she wants to do is cuddle. So it's just like, you know, she just keeps me like just calm and stuff, yeah.
After Tomlin graduated from Kansas State in December, he was essentially a midseason free agent. And after one visit to the 901, he was sold on the Tigers.
I just felt that, like, you know, I could come in and like help contribute to what they were doing. And so it was just like a good fit. You know, I know they need another guy, and I just want to help come win, yeah. Tomlin
made his debut in the Vanderbilt game in the middle of the Tigers' 10-game win streak, and walking into an already established team of sorts was not simple.
It's very tough, you know. Some of these guys are already in the groove, you know, you don't want to come in and mess things up, having to learn plays. You know, that was probably the hardest one, you know, because there's so many plays. And, you know, you have a lot of plays, but you don't run a lot of plays. So I would have to learn all these plays, even though we're not running some of them, but I have to, you know, still learn to get acclimated with all of these plays and stuff like that. So that might have been the toughest challenge. And then also, too, just trying to get as much, you know, team bonding and chemistry that I can with the team, so, you know, we can have that chemistry on the court.
But Tomlin has adjusted nicely to his new surroundings, averaging over 11 points and 5 rebounds per contest with Memphis, while looking more and more comfortable by the game. Most importantly, though, is his contribution to the Tigers' success as a team the rest of the way.
Now I just feel like I just got to do whatever I can to help win. You know, it's either like, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, whatever Coach Penny decides that he wants me to do to help win, whether it's scoring or just going out, grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, I'm just ready to do whatever, you know.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but Tomlin is a 6'10" big man who moves like a gazelle, can handle the ball, and shoot from distance. He explored entering the NBA draft last offseason, and after this season comes to an end, pro ball will be on his radar once again.
I'm not sure, but hopefully it's definitely the NBA. You know, after the summertime, you know, I got to work as hard as I can, just so I make sure I leave a good impression in those workouts and hopefully in the draft combine and stuff.
What would it be like to accomplish that, especially given the fact that, like you said, you've been playing organized basketball for 5.5 years to make it to the NBA?
It'd be a dream come true. What's that? That's it. It'd be a dream come true.
Memphis is superior to North Carolina in barbecue. We'll find out if they are in basketball, plus a revenge game. East Carolina and UAB previews coming up next.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
Two very interesting games on tap at Greenville, North Carolina. ECU is tough for the Tigers in that little building. And then you've got a revenge game with UAB.
Yeah, ECU, you know, there's not really a fan base, so you gotta have to generate your own energy. And they play really hard in that building, and they want to win, so it always makes it tough. And then UAB is kind of a revenge game. They got the best of us in the second half at UAB.
What's your biggest takeaway from that game in Birmingham?
Offensive rebounding. You know, they got so many offensive rebounds that's been our Achilles heel all season. You got to be able to box out.
I'm suspecting boxing out on defense and guarding the perimeter. Those have been actually a little bit of a flaw all year long.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because that's pretty much all we talk about. It doesn't look like it, but it seems like once the game starts, the guys just start to get distracted in other areas and teams just make shots on us. You can look at 5 other games and they don't make the same shots, but against us they do. And they make us pay for every mistake, but we work on it 4 times a week on running guys off the 3-point line and boxing out.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This will be the second revenge game of the year. The Tigers got Tulane. Back with a wrap in just a minute.
You're watching The Penny Hardaway Show, presented by Cook's Pest Control.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next Sunday night. Have a great week, everybody.
The Penny Hardaway Show is presented by Cook's Pest Control. You don't have to live with pests. Call Cook's Pest Control and get a free quote today. Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. Tiger Bookstore, the official merchandiser of Tiger Athletics. AutoZone, when you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And supported by your Memphis area Toyota dealers. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.